Hey, what's up, everybody? Shalom, Sister Kasia, what's up with you? What's good with you? How you doing? What's good, everybody? Already, thank you. I appreciate it. So, Sister Deidre, what's up with you? You know what I'm talking about? What's good? What's good? What's good? We are back. We are back. Oh, for sure. We ready. We we ready. And we are coming to the end. Sad to say, we come to the end of the series. You know what I'm talking about. Shaka Zulu. We're doing 9 and 10 tonight. And like, always, what I'm talking about. We gonna Shalom, Sister Madeira, what's up with you? We keeping it and we taking it, like always, taking it to the south. You know what I'm talking about. So we gonna get it in, and we gonna get it in with 9, you know what I'm saying? And okay, so at the start of 9, right? We see Farewell Company, and we see them burying their comrades that died in the war with the Ndwanwes, right? And Mr. Ogle, he got questions and concerns. I'm talking about. We just say it like that. Peace, Sequoia, what's good with you? Peace, Sister Marsha, what's up with you? And he questions, and he talks about we're landlocked. We should be building a ship or something. And the men think the same too. They want to build a ship too. And Farewell's like, we are in a stronger position than we, after this battle, And Mr. O was like, I ain't thinking nothing fancy, about ship. We just get a couple of logs, and make a raft, And Farewell's like, there was like 400 miles of coastline with razor sharp reefs and high winds and all that, and you cannot tell me you really believe that you gonna make make this journey safe and sound, to Port Elizabeth from Port Natal. You can't think that. He was like, well, we gotta try something, it's like, but and all the guys, that's there, give their insight, on what they should do, you know what I'm saying? Because Pharaoh was like, how far you think we gonna get, doing this unnoticed and, without Shaka's help or his go ahead, you know what I'm talking about? Sister Deidre, it is okay. I'm not good with my pronunciation, but it looks like Coma. That's the name of the song, Coma, and it's by Selelo Selota. I'll type it just so you know, what I'm saying. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay. So, you know, no problem. But after that, so Farewell goes all by himself, right? And Finn goes after him, and Finn confronts him, privately about this. He's like, man, you know, you need this boat more than they do, because you're losing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, so he needs a good reason, right? Well, then let's just give him the truth. I mean, you came here for a reason, right? I mean, you came here for an alliance. Now that was the truth. That's what you've been sent here for. Well, then let's, escort his emissaries or whatever, and taking them taking them on Port Elizabeth for to issue an alliance, with an embassy or whatever. And so, you know, they go see Shaka, right? And Finn's doing his hair and whatnot, and he tells them, what's going down. Talking about how they'll build the ship and everything. We'll go back to the Cape and with your emissaries, go mine and and whoever he wanted, any members of the council, and your leaders will meet our leaders, and we'll make a declaration of an alliance in Cape Town. But Shaka changes the plan because he says, okay, y'all can go, but you can go, and one of the other guys, he can go. Just you two. Everybody else stay. Finn stays. You know what I'm saying? And he's and they're like, as hostages, and he's like, you could say that, but it's just look at it as a gesture of goodwill. He's still playing this, he's still playing the statesman, the politician, and he plays it real good, what I'm talking about, because you ain't about to let all of them and have your prime minister. No, can't trust him. But that's good. That's good. Good politics, if you say, what I'm saying, or at least good hostage exchange. So Shaka tells him if they're not back by next harvest, everybody dies. You know what I'm saying? And so after that, we get Pampata, and she's crying because she's pregnant, and she's with Nandi. She's with the queen, and she's like, does he suspect anything? You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, what? I'm gonna take you to basically my crawl, and they'll look after you. And then she's like, how long do I have to stay away? And she's like, probably for as long as he lives. You know what I'm saying? And she's just crying, just crying. And after that, Farewell and they building the ship, and the ship is called Shaka, but Chak, like Shaka, but like Shaka Stevens, but after that, we go back to, as they're building the ship, we go back to Pampata, and she's singing, and she's basically doing a love ritual with the moon, full moon. And Nandy's watching, Pampata sings beautiful. I love what she sang, because it's supposed to be, I guess, it's a the song is somber, you know what I'm saying? And it's somber, but it's good, it gets you in your feelings, you know what I'm saying? You be like, man, I miss somebody, I miss my love too. But anyway, but it's a really good, it's a really good song or whatever. And So it's it's cute. It's cute. And so Nandy sees this, right? And she's like, the moon is full, and I want to, shine my love on Shaka or whatever. And Nandy's like, don't place, too much faith in the moon. It comes and goes, and it's too far away to give you what you want. You know, which was nice words, but you can, which is to me good acting. But you see in her face that she's speaking from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? She's like, take it from me. In my life, don't do that. But she's doing that. And after that, you know, um Farewell's men are captured by Shaka, right? And the melanated ones are impaled. And it's cool how they do it, because all you see is the regiments running up, right? And then you see, Farewell's men, apprehended or whatever. But then when they kneel down, you see them lift up, the stakes or whatever, and they're impaled. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they was just impaled because they was sort of moving still. And Shaka's like, what I'm saying? They try to escape. You know what I'm saying? You allow this. That's your weakness. You know what I'm saying? And then Farewell's like, Port Natal is mine. You know what I'm saying? And its people are mine. And you have no right, to murder my people. And he pointed at the melanated ones. And he said, those were never your people. You know what I'm saying? Your people are right here, safe and sound, as we agreed. You know what I'm saying? And then they leave, and they pull up the impaled guys, and stake them in the ground or whatever. And Farewell's like, bring them down. And it's it's messed up, what I'm saying? Because you don't see Farewell and them like, y'all trying to get us killed. We already building the ship and whatnot. We doing what we're supposed to do. And y'all gonna try to escape? And he gonna try to escape with the belt, with no, you don't see that, at least somebody get hit or something. Like, how dare y'all, y'all messed this up for us, man. I would kill you myself. Just being that that commander, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna allow nobody to stay, everyone's survival on, just for a few to, escape. No. Either we all go, we don't go at all. But after that, we see Pampada. She's in labor. My name is Precious. What's good with you? And as she's in labor, she's having real, bad labor pains or whatever. And 90 is reminded of her own labor with Shaka at that time, and what her mother told her. The more you and your child struggle, the greater your love should be. And she kept on repeating that pretty much. So, but the end part, the greater your love should be, and whatnot. And the baby was born or whatever. And Farewell and company with Gomani and the selected members of the council, they set sail. And after that, Shaka, he's sitting on the ground, looking at the coast, like real sad that that Papada is gone, right? Like, but in contemplation, in a sense, you know what I'm talking about. And then they tell her, his men tell him, we know where she is. She's at the Queen's Quarrel. You know what I'm saying? And then he runs with his regiment, and they go to the Queen's Quarrel or wherever. And while that's happening, you hear, which I wish it would have made it longer, but I wish they would have, instead of just hearing the words, they would have basically filmed it. But the words that he's having with Nandi, she tells him that he must have an heir so that the house of Shaka lives on after him. And he says, "No, mother. There would be no heir to do what I have done to my father. Heir stab you in the back as they plan their road to the heavens. You know what I'm saying? And besides, the whites have made me immortal. And she says, don't place so much faith in the whites. You know what I'm saying? But it shows how he feels, about I guess children, legacy, um, or what was forced on him, probably, because of his life, you know, and how he views those things, you know what I'm saying? Which, is what it is. But Shaka enters the Queen's Crawl, right? Nandi's Crawl. And he feels deceived, like Pompada's deceived them, Nandi's deceived them. Um, yeah, he was faced with his own mortality. But I put it to you like this, because I thought about it, and I've been thinking about that scene even before I watched it. It sort of is like, I put it to you like this. It's sort of like the mythology of Kronos. I put it to you like that, or Saturn in Greek mythology. Kronos kills his father, to take, to take rulership over the heavens of the Greeks, right? Of the Greek gods. And then he eats his own children, so that doesn't happen. It's sort of like that. It's sort of like it has that Kronos energy. I'm not going, I've taken power from my father, therefore I'm not going to let my children do the same thing for me. So I'm not going to have any children. It's sort of like that. But then here comes Zeus, you know what I'm saying? Who starts, the war and whatnot, and topples Kronos and whatnot, frees his brothers and sisters and things of that nature. But it's like that. That's what I thought of while this scene is happening. It's like Kronos or whatever, or at least it reminded me of that. You know what I'm saying? But with melanated people. Titans, but with Titans, but it is what it is. And he, like I say, he feels the seed, you know what I'm saying, from Papada and Nandi. And uh Nandi's like, I love you, Shaka. And he's like, love? What do you and me know about that? All we've ever felt, is revenge and hate. Hate. I'm a product of your hatred, just like he is a product of my hatred. You know what I'm saying? She's like, no, you know what I'm saying? Through him, your name will live forever, you know what I'm saying? And whatnot. And he's like, there can be no future without Shaka. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But before I say that, he smacks his mother. You know what I'm saying? Makes her bleed. But he smacks to the ground or whatever. But to answer your insight, Sister Deidre, well, in a sense, you can say he was a mama's boy, but it's not. It's like this. You can't put on a modern look at a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with his mother. You know what I'm saying? And it was through no fault of his own. You know what I'm saying? All he had was his mother. Any type of male leadership besides Gendayana, you know what I'm saying, who pretty much was the only real male father figure he had, you know what I'm saying? But he met him when he was, I guess an adolescent or about to on the cusp of being, an adolescent or whatever. But every man that he met, shunned him away, even in his own tribe or his mother's tribe, you know what I'm saying? So you can't call him a mother's boy. He's a victim of circumstance in a sense, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's a victim of circumstance. He has no choice but to be with his mother, you know what I'm saying? It's not the, it's not the same, I would say, you know what I'm saying? But he did have a male role, a male figure in his life in Gendayana, but you don't see how that plays with him, you know what I'm saying? Which would have been more insight. But you can't say he's a mama's boy, but yeah, in a sense he is. But he's a victim of circumstance in a sense. But I mean, what choice did he have? It felt as if Nandi intended to do the same thing with her grandson. Why? Well, I would say because that child probably had a destiny on his calling. Because when you see Pampada and labor, who's there? Satai. And by concealing the birth or whatever, um, you get the lineage, but you don't know what that child was sent to do. But if Satai was there, and as you can see when they were making love or whatever, Satai was bringing that spiritual arm in play. So I would say Nandi knew. She knows that child, just like her, and her child got a great calling for the nation. So she might have to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want it. And in real life, Shaka had more than one kid, and they all were put to death. From what I know, it just wasn't one. But that one I know is significant because that's the one that Nandi hid. I can't say she did it repeatedly in real life, but I do know that it was one child that she hid. You know what I'm saying? But they don't go into that. You know what I'm saying? That he had more than one kid, and they all were put to death. You know what I'm saying? In the span of his lifetime. But it don't go into that. To the fact that he was going to be more than Shaka. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That it could be. Is it possible that it may not even be true? It could be, it could be. But or history. You look at it like that, or history. Most of what we know is from the lens of the two colonizers. Yeah, but it is from the lens of the two colonizers. But I can't say. Or you got the written word, and then you got oral history. You know what I'm saying? If it's something different, then it's something different. So you got to look at, I guess, both sides and try to find out what's true and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Understanding is a three-edged sword. Your side, their side, and the truth. You know what I'm talking about. And so the child is killed, right? Yeah, exactly. So the child is killed, right? It's killed by one of the bodyguards, right? And so Pharaoh reaches Cape Town, right? And the gov meets, the governor of the Cape. He meets Farewell, and he says, you want some rum? You do remember what rum is, right? And then Farewell goes into basically the science of rum or whatever. He says, first, we send in the Bible holders, then the rum seller, and basically then the armies, and that's just paraphrasing. But he's running down the colonial manual, you know what I'm saying? First you bring in the missionaries, you know what I'm saying? Then the rum sellers, and then the army. You don't have to look no further than here. you know, the indigenous people here, first they send in, the schooling and the missionaries, and then, there was the rum sellers and alcoholism, and then when once that was done, then you send in the military. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but also, basically, um you know he warns them, Pharaoh warns them of the Zulu armies, you know what I'm saying? And then, typical one of the officers that was there, he talks about you know that the natives think we're born to lead. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know basically just says what they think about you. That's how I took it. You know what I'm saying? That's how they think of you. They think of you as children, and think that, they think that you think that, they were born to lead you, because you are either too weak or too scared to lead yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't have the knowledge of self, or, your people, to lead your own selves, or your own nation. Who told them that? Yeah. Who did tell them that? They sort of found that out. That's, hey, they found that out on themselves. Who told them that? Manifest Destiny. That's what they got. This is British, but hey, Manifest Destiny. You need to look no further than that. Who told the Manifest Destiny? Who told her? Who wrote this? Hey, that's I guess that's the spirit of nationalism. You know what I'm saying? To get your people to think highly of themselves, and that they have a destiny and a calling to lead everybody. Empire and all that. It is what it is. King and country. Glory, God, and gold. You know what I'm saying? You got to have something. To inspire. Your people to do what you want them to do. When it comes to colonizing and subjugating other peoples. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make them feel like, this is our natural right. Even though we know you are the youngest of the bunch. Whatever, but semantics. We can go on and on with that one. But yeah, it is the interesting part about that. But I mean, you see that, you see that in a bunch of movies. But I mean, it is what it is. But it's good to hear. So now you know where the line is. It's good to hear. You know what I'm saying? So you don't forget. But then the government questions, which side of the fence Farewell was on. You know what I'm saying? And there's a part where he's like, or whatever. And so then, he comes out, and Farewell is, still in native wear, Zulu wear, and he meets his wife or whatever, and they have a moment. You know what I'm saying? And then one another favorite part, we go back to the crowd, we go back to Crowd Boulevard, and the boys are getting it with the high knee, and they getting it, boy, they get, me. I love when they got them legs up, you know what I'm talking about. And they kicking high. They kicking high and they stomping with power. They stomping the earth with some power. You know what I'm talking about. And so as that's happening, in Shaka's crawl, I cannot tell you, Sister Deirdre. I want to say it's a normal day, but I can't say that. It's like, what? It's a normal day. We do this every day, but no. I can't tell you that. It's a day of great praise every day. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, and so in Shaka's crawl, right? Finn is reading from the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And as he's reading for the Bible or whatever, Shaka is coming, basically being enlightened and saying that it's not George who he needs to make an alliance with or appeal to have the whites, have or basically live in harmony. It's through Christ, you know what I'm saying, that he needs to make this alliance with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, if that's the case, then Christ must earn it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And then he asked more questions, as to, if y'all love, Christ so much, why did y'all hang him from a tree? Cross, but why did y'all hang him from a tree? And then Finn says something to the effect, how peace is sometimes, some things are just unexplainable. And then Shaka says, that's why tyrants are necessary, Febana. You see how you gotta like it because Shaka is so philosophical. He's a smart, very smart. He's a genius, but he's like, that's why tyrants are necessary. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, some things can't be explained. Or there's not enough time to explain, and you just got to get up and go, and somebody's got to march y'all to where y'all need to be. And shoot, they don't got time to explain. They ain't got time to debate with you. You gonna get down or you gonna lay down. Is what it is. You just look at every so-called tyrant in history. You know what I'm saying? But try to look at it through a lens not of the person looking outside and don't know, but the people that's actually on the inside. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shoot, how many tyrants did so-called did Rome have? Look at what they did. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, they were still celebrated, even by the British, or the Greeks. They love bringing up them, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, so it is what it is. But, a messenger comes telling Shaka that Nandi is ill. And they run, to the Queen's Crawl, right? And, Nandi's, lying down and, she's sick. And she says to Shaka, you've killed me and it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Now, Sister Deirdre, now he's acting like a mama's boy. He's going to be acting like a mama's boy now. He's like, no, mother, no. He just got that look. He got the look. You know what I'm saying? And um, Shaka, sends in for Finn to save her or whatever. And he says, save her or my guilt will become your own. You know what I'm saying? Which, it's like, bro, you did. How you gonna make this my guilt? How you gonna put this on me? This is your fault. Nobody told you to hit her, and nobody told you to kill the kid. You did, But ego. What I'm saying? Exactly. No accountability. Ego. He gonna force the buck on somewhere else. Now that is some mama's boy type stuff. No accountability. You know what I'm saying? And then we get a new thing. Nandy gets a thing. It's the end. It's the end. Because we ended at that. And I like the theme. The theme was nice. You know what I'm saying? And you hear it play, but you don't actually hear the words until this time, this episode. And so the theme is good. You know what I'm talking about? And it is what it is, and whatnot. But it's a nice thing, and it just got a name in it. You know what I'm talking about? And so now we on episode 10. You know what I'm talking about? And Finn is trying to save Nandy, but he can't. There's nothing more he really can do. And you know what I'm saying? He tells him, there's nothing more I can do. The great female elephant's illness is beyond my is beyond my magic, pretty much. And so Shaka tries to save her by putting the hair dye in her hair. But she dies. But Shaka asks Finn to bring her back to life like Christ did. And he's like, he was the king of kings. You know what I'm saying? And Shaka's like, she is the queen of queens. The great female elephant. You know what I'm talking about? And he's like, no, Finn's like, your mother is dead, and there's nothing me or anyone can do to bring her back. You know what I'm saying? It's like explaining this to a child, like, this is death. You know what I'm saying? But, and he's like, is that true, Satai? And Satai's like, yes, that's true. Now, it's not like Shaka don't know about death. You know what I'm saying? And then but it's just interesting in that scene. It's kitty, but it's like he knows about death. You know what I'm saying? It's like he doesn't know mortality, but I guess when you put the added touch for show, he feels like now there's an elixir for immortality, so that there can be no more death. But it is what it is. I guess the added touch for show just backfired now. You know what I'm talking about? But it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so, Shaka says, there is no truth. You know what I'm saying? There is no truth, only that you are dead, mother. You know what I'm saying? And then he says, the promises of life, the promises of youth shall die with you. You know what I'm saying? And so here comes the mourning period. And the mourning period for Nandi it's rough on the people. There's no cultivation for the following year. And no milk will be used, and any milk, like from the cow, will be thrown onto the soil. And any woman with child, along with their husband, what I'm saying, will be put to death. You know what I'm saying? And so after we see that, Farewell is enjoying his wife. You know what I'm saying? And Elizabeth, feels like, Farewell won't return. And that, in the mirror, he's just a shadow of himself, And she sees that basically, that his interactions with the Zulus, it's personal. It's deep. It's different from any other time he's been away, or any event he's had thus far. And Farewell asks her to wait for him or whatever. And Farewell, an officer goes to Farewell and tells him that the embassy, basically the governorship, will not meet with them. And Farewell says, "I'm Zulu." You know what I'm saying? He will stay until their embassy or whatever it is heard from. You know what I'm saying? And so the white people are staring at them outside or whatever, and whatnot, and Gomani and them, and he tells them basically, what's going on, that they won't meet with them. So we'll stay and wait, you know. And we see Nandy's funeral. And the thing that I noticed was the only one that wasn't crying was Mkabai. Mkabai wasn't crying at all. But we all Mkabai don't got no tears. But she wasn't crying. But we see what's different about this burial or any burial we've seen. Well, the size, for one. It's sort of, I want to say it sort of reminds me of an Egyptian mastaba, but not really. But we see that unlike the Zulu kings, or even Nandi's father, they use cowhide. But with her, leopard. She got leopard, you know what I'm saying? And Shaka puts on the, even his leopard cape over and whatnot. And then puts, basically the hood, the hood over her face and whatnot. No, she don't lead with emotion. That's the good thing about M. Kabai. But then again, what, like Nandi said, what does she know about being a woman? She can't even tap into her own feelings. It's one thing you will say M. Kabai is so hard. Her soul is so hard. She really don't got time for feelings. She's she's a dude in that sense. You know what I'm saying? She wanted, but she wanted to be put in that position anyway. We saw that at the beginning. The only reason why you're the heir and not me is because of that thing between your lips. Real feminist, but we know. But it is what it is. But we see that, and we see so many slaves or servants that were still alive, basically. Usually they're dead, but no, not these. They were buried alive with her. And we also see, still, devastation, crawls are being burned, women are running around, scared, you know what I'm saying? Because, it's a hard time. Times are hard now. Times are hard on the people. Or basically the Confederacy, the Zulu Confederacy. I just call it like that. And back at Cape Town, people are throwing oranges at, Gamani and them. Things that white people do. That's nothing new. They're at the zoo. We're at the zoo. Ooh, look at them. Look. That's a Zulu. Throw an orange. See if he likes it. They're monkeys. We know. We know. But and it's a big affair, right? I be done seen about everything when I see an elephant fly. Don't give me what you say, boy. I say when I see an elephant fly. Don't get me started, Sister Deidre. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie too. Da 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 da. Anyway, but so the editor Simpson, he approaches Elizabeth again, and he still wants a news story, an article. You know what I'm saying? And she refuses for a minute, but he says, basically, what's good being a hero if nobody knows about it? And then she tells him to stop or whatever. And then I guess because of that, um, Farewell and Gamani and them, they meet with the governor, and the bruh, basically the bruhs, they, as they meet in the governor's office, they like, we don't want to sit in no chairs. We need to sit on the floor. I ain't sitting in that white man shut. No, you know what I'm saying? And Fair was like, do you mind if we sit on the floor? He was like, no, go right ahead or whatever. And the governor is basically antagonizing them, asking, right, they need to be grounded or whatever. Because this is first contact, Zulu first contact. So of course you trust, you don't trust nothing, not even the furniture. Lesson. In a first contact situation, look, don't trust nothing but the ground. Yeah, don't trust nothing but the ground. Don't trust nothing they give you. Don't know. They ask you to sit in, sit your butt on the floor. Something that you can trust in, the earth. Because on the earth, he is the master. Anyway. But he antagonized and say, why does Shaka want this line? Is it just to meet George and to drink some kaffa there? And we all know what kaffa means. Whatever. And so as they're antagonizing them in front of, the newspaper men and whatnot, the governor finds out, through a officer who comes in, that Shaka is moving on the Cape, with his armies, and that his ministers have 24 hours to leave the Cape, or he would consider, that's there as an act of war. And so, the governor talks to Pharaoh privately and says, man, you need to save yourself and let the Zulus go. You know what I'm saying? Because men like you, y'all get caught in the crossfire right now. And Farewell says, it's too late for that for me. And I have an investment to protect. And I got to stop him. Of course, he got an investment. He got land and ivory tied up into this. He got land and money tied up into this. I ain't about to let go of my investment. You know what I'm saying? And so he goes outside, prepare to leave again. And Elizabeth don't want him to go, but you know what I'm saying? He has to go, and she don't understand. And he kisses her, and she's like, just like that, and she keeps on, and then he kisses her again, and she's like, just like that. You're not gonna stay, like, yeah. But it goes back to what Shaka says, when you gotta, when you build the pathway to the heavens, you gotta walk it alone. And if your chick don't understand, I mean, hey, you don't get it. I can't lace you any more than that. But anyway, it's August 1828 in Port Natal, and they see that Farewell has returned. And Finn tells him what's the situation now, and tells him of Nandy's death, and basically, he's gone mad after that. You know what I'm saying? And then Farewell goes along to find him. I mean, Finn wants to go with him, but he's like, nah, I gotta send this out. I'll get us out. So he goes off to find him. And Gomane, he returns to Kuala Bulawayo, and he tells Umkabai that, the whites have nothing to offer us. You know what I'm saying? And to clean up the city of the dead, because, I mean, there's impaled people everywhere and dead bodies on the ground and whatnot, in the crawl and whatnot. And it's just a horrible sight. So he says, clean this up and allow then give back the dignity to the people or whatever. And Farewell, reaches Shaka, right? But you know what? I like that Gomani went to the crawl and was like, the whites don't got nothing to offer us. They don't want peace. You know what I'm saying? Which he knew from the get go. And Compose knew from the get go. You know, everybody knew, but it is what it is. But that was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, we see Mkabai, taking charge. And so Pharaoh reaches Shaka, and Shaka asks, how do you trap a monkey? And then, Pharaoh tells him, how you trap a monkey. You know what I'm saying? And it's the scene is sort of Shakespearean because of what Shaka says. He says, "Bait your gourd. I yearn for something shiny." You know what I'm saying? What do you come back with? Did you come back with something shiny for me? You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. And he's like, the greed or whatever is just as much your fault as it is mine. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, castor oil, the mirror, everything, all of that was some shiny objects. All of that was bait. We already know it's in the manual. You get you a gun. You know what I'm saying, some rum. You know what I'm saying, a mirror, a pot, a metal pot. You know what I'm saying, maybe a tea set. You know what I'm talking about. It's in the manual. It's in the manual. You know the manual, right? It's right there. In the gifts, part of deception. I'm gonna give you these gifts. Yeah, the manual. It's okay. You just gotta read the manual. It's in the manual. It's in the manual. That's why they say beware the Greeks bearing gifts. You gotta do that with everybody. Not just them, but with everybody. Everybody. Beware everybody bearing gifts. Because it's a Trojan horse somewhere. But anyway. So Farewell says, don't hate my people. We'll basically solve this problem together. And he says, nah, man, you can't do nothing for me. I have I basically, you're a man with no nation. You're a shadow. He calls him that, a shadow. And he says, I have no need of you any longer. He said, I'm a shadow, and he says, where do I go? Where do I go? And then he says, where I have been. Very, very philosophical. That was just a cool line, or whatever. And Farewell leaves, and then we don't see him again, ever. You know what I'm saying? And he leaves, like I say, he leaves the crawling. That's his last name. So Jogo or tells Mkabai, that the king is gone. We was going, march out, on the Cape or whatever, and march out on the whites, and he was just gone. You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, where is he gone? And he's like, oh, really? Does it matter at this point? Does it really matter? And she said, no, it doesn't matter anymore. Already you see, Mkabai taking charge, and she said, no, it doesn't matter anymore. And then you see Shaka walking the land, and Satai's words are playing back to him. Basically, Composer's words are playing back to him. Gomani's words are playing back to him, and we get a playback of a lot of things, of his youth and whatnot. And he walks the land, and then he returns to Quabble a while, and he's crying. And then he sees Pompata. Everybody's bound, because he's the king. Um, he sees her and she's crying, but she bows, what I'm saying? But, it's a moment. But he goes up, to basically the throne where Mkabayi and Dingan and everybody and Gomani and them, they're all there. And what I'm saying, he's like, what I'm talking about, Mkabayi, once again, I'm in your hands, for the good of the nation. you you've always said, it, and after all these years, what I'm talking about. And this is the one time you see pretty much that Mkabayi got feelings, because she's, and look like she about to cry. But she hold it back, right? And everybody looks like they about to cry. What I'm saying? Bopa, in the back, they look like him and Dingan look like they about to go and stab him or whatever. But Shaka turns back and whatnot, and he's like, what I'm talking about. It is what it is. What I'm saying? He said, even you, my brothers, I didn't think you were so capable of such decisiveness or whatever. And it is what it is. And so it we go to, he looks back at Mkabayi, right? And he says, for the good, for the good nation, you always said. And she shakes her head like, I'm gonna take care of you, bro. Giving him the order, right? And they stab him in the back, and then they stab him in his chest. Him and Digan and Bopa. And so he says, the Swallows have one Dingan. The Swallows have one Dingan. And Mkabayi tells Bopa to burn everything. That nothing, none of us, there's nothing that reminds us of Shaka lives. And so they start burning the crawl. And so Pampata runs to Shaka, and she's holding him and whatnot. And as the crawl's burning, everybody runs. Everybody's just dispersing, trying to get out the crawl because it's burning. And Pampata just holding Shaka, just crying, whatnot. And then, what I'm saying, Gomani, even him, he bows, take off his headdress, he bows, and then he runs, and then Mkabayi runs and whatnot. And then we got the, boom, 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 the end, and there's no ending thing. The thing was playing during the burning or whatever, and all you just hear is the burning sounds, and basically, and that's the end. Now, prologue, or basically, shoot, I didn't even say it. One thing, well, going back in real life, have you ever seen Nandy's burial site? It seems very small. It's gated, but it's not much. It's it is what it is. What I'm saying? But yeah, she does, her burial site is visible to see, but there's like no real marker or mausoleum or whatever. What I'm saying? But yeah, and but in real life, once Shaka dies, Digan does take over. He's the king, right? But he has to solidify his rule and whatnot. So he's basically killing all Shaka's supporters and whatnot, and he has to contend with the Boers and the British. and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But he, like I say, he rules for like 12 years, 10 to 12 years or whatever. And it's not a glorious one. It's not glorious reign, I guess you could say, because he's losing land. The thing about this is, after Shaka dies, it goes back to what you know. I guess Nkubai said, if you really want to rule in this place, you plan to death like Shaka wanted to plan. But also, if you want to rule in this place, you got to top what he's done. Because Shaka's death is like Julius Caesar in a sense. It's like Caesar, but at the same time, who came after Caesar? Yeah, Brutus and them thought, oh, it's done. The king is dead. The tyrant is dead. Death to the tyrant. But who came in his place? Augustus. And what did Augustus do? Pax Romana. You know what I'm talking about? He solidified the rule of the Romans and got them started. Got the Roman war machine up and running and whatnot. And so you need, and so for a time like this, that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need like an Augustus type to like, okay, we gonna get back to, Shaka had a plan. We gonna get busy now. Reformat the army. Let's go take the cape. Before they get news of his death and think they can do something. Let's get back to running our business. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get back to running this business. The king is dead, but his plan, we gonna get buck. Matter of fact, let's get the Hosa up into this. You know what I'm saying? The Hosa. You know what I'm saying? But Dingan, ends up getting basically dethroned by who? Mpande. I told you pay attention to that name. Who was another one of Shaka's brothers, right? And he, with his alliance with the Boers and whatnot, he was able to take dethrone Dingaan, and Dingaan ends up dying. I think in Swaziland or whatever, and nobody really knows, because he was chased out, but all they know is that he died. But Mpande basically has the longest reign, of the Zulu kingdom, and it's it meets with his own problems, because there's still this destabilization, you know what I'm saying, and you got all these problems with the Boers and the British, and then you got to be bothered with that. But he did have a chance to take Swaziland or whatever, and it showed the distinguishing of his son, who is Seswayo. Seswayo was good in war, I guess, and but that also caused a problem or a rift between his brother, even though Seswayo was the oldest, but his brother had a problem with it, and his brother's name was Mwazi. That's why I told you to pay attention to that name. So Seswayo, his father dies. When did his father die? I want to say 1848. Is it? But his father dies. Actually, his father dies because there's constant civil war in the Zulu kingdom, and that's because of rival chiefs or whatever. They end up fighting against Mpande, and then he dies, basically, I guess, from a heart attack. And then it's Seswayo's time, and then you got the Zulu wars and whatnot, and then Seswayo, he's dethroned, and then he comes back, but then another civil war. It's like I say, manual. You know what I'm talking about. But then after that, after the Zulu wars, you get pretty much the last one, which is the Bambata Rebellion. which is led by Bambata, who is not a Zulu. He comes from another tribe, but he leads a rebellion, which is turn the century. Um, and that's basically like the last of the Zulu Wars. His rebellion didn't last long, and shoot, even Bambata ends up fleeing, you know, up north, and nobody hears of him again. You know what I'm saying? And one of the, I wish I remember his name, but one of the like old generals that was like alive when Shaka was still alive or whatever, he ends up dying in jail. And that caused a problem between Bambata's family and his family. But yeah, man, like I say, after Shaka, man, it's so much destabilization and civil wars and colonial problems and whatnot. You just don't know, man. It's just like that. But like I say, Manual. But it's a good show. It was a good TV series, and we've enjoyed it or whatever. And I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed revisiting it. You know what I'm talking about, and it's just been fun. You know what I'm talking about. And so with that, I'm gonna say that the next thing, because I've enjoyed going over I guess Warriorhood, so I'm gonna keep it going. And so the next movie we talk about actually pretty much just came out, and it is Judas and the Dang on Black Messiah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the pen, and we're gonna talk about Judas and the Black Messiah because it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun and interesting. So that's the next one we are going to experience together, as a community of learners. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and ournewlifeglobal.org. Oh, and give thanks, everybody. And I appreciate it. Ooh, I appreciate just going over this. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always wanted to do a TV series, but sometimes they're too long to do. And I'm glad, this came out. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm very glad. So give thanks, and I will see y'all, Sabbath. And we, like I say, we gonna keep on getting it in. And we gonna experience new movies and things that, especially when it comes to Black Warriorhood, we gonna at least we gonna experience movies that very little known, or a history that are very not known when it comes to Black Warriorhood. So we gonna get into that. So I will see y'all later, and peace, everybody.